To generate a new application, you need to run the command ng new followed by the project name, which is demo app in our case. Now when you run this command, a lot of things happen behind the scenes. First, a new directory, demo app, is created. All the source files and directories for the new Angular application are created based on the name you specified, which is demo app. Then npm dependencies are installed by internally executing npm install command. TypeScript is going to be configured for you. Karma, which is the unit test runner, is going to be configured. Protractor, which is the end-to-end test framework, is also going to be configured. And finally, the environment files with default settings are created. So with just one command, you have an entire working Angular application. Let's take a look by executing the command ourselves. Now I have a folder, Angular CLI, and over here I'm going to hold down the Shift key, right click, and click on Open Command window here. Let us execute the command. So ng new demo app, and then press enter. The command takes a few minutes to execute, but once it is done, you should have a folder by the name of demo app created. And if you navigate inside, you can see that the command created a lot of files and folders. Let's investigate some of them using Visual Studio Code. So over here in Visual Studio Code, I have the demo app folder. If I expand, let's start with the package.json file. Now, if you have a look here, we have a list of dependencies and dev dependencies. So the ng new command not only creates the folder structure, but also installs all these dependencies. And if you have a look at the node modules folder, you should have all these dependencies present. Some of the scripts that can also be executed are provided here in package.json file. The major part of our application, however, is going to be in the source folder. If I open the source folder, we should have an app folder, an assets, environments folder, and a couple of files. Let's start with the app folder. The app folder contains the app module, which is the root module of our application. Over here, we declare one component, which is the app component. So the app component is the root component of our application. This app component has appcomponent.html as the template and appcomponent.css for styles. And those are the two files present over here. We also have a spec file which is used for testing. So that is our app folder. Next we have an assets folder which is empty, but you can usually provide images related to your application in this particular folder. The next folder is the environments folder, which contains two files, environment.ts and environment.prod.ts. Now we will take a closer look at the environments folder later on in this course, but for now, just understand that based on development or production deployment, one of these two files are going to be used. Then we have a favicon, which is used for our application, the index.html file, which contains the app root selector from the app component. We have a main.ts file, which is going to bootstrap our app module. We have polyfills for different browsers. We have styles.css that is going to apply styles for the entire application. A test.ts file, which is used for unit testing. And also an E2E folder, which is used for end-to-end testing. We have tsconfig and typings file. We also have an Angular CLI.json file, and we will take a very close look at this in the next lecture. We have the editor config file, which we can ignore. We have the git ignore file, again we can ignore. We have the configuration file for Karma unit test runner. We have protractor configuration file, which is used for end-to-end testing, a README file for GitHub. We also have the TypeScript configuration file, tsconfig.json, and the tslint file, which contains the rules that checks our TypeScript code for readability, maintainability, and functionality errors. So that is the basic structure of an Angular application that is generated using Angular CLI. In the next lecture, let's take a closer look at Angular CLI.json file.